moment. Christian tolerated the other. There was a certain sad truth to him, though Christian hated to admit it. The other was his negative, something Luke's presence had created, yet the other was now in a similar place to Christian. Perhaps even worse. The other wanted nothing anymore except to be freed, which was another way of saying to die. The mouth, that was a monstrosity Christian couldn't stand. But like with the other, there was no ridding himself of it. A thing created of black shadows, making a Cheshire cat grin with huge, jagged teeth. Christian was just glad it wasn't here right now. He didn't know where it was, but it'd be back. "Do you think they'll interfere with the hearing?" Veronica asked. She sat across the room at a small table, a cup of coffee in front of her. She was staring out the hotel window and had been since 5 o'clock this morning. "You can tell her I won't interfere with anything. I'm not even sure I'm going," the other said. "I don't know," Christian told Veronica, ignoring the other's comment. None of them could be trusted, because none of them actually existed. They were all creations of Christian's own mind, which essentially meant his mind couldn't be trusted. "That could be bad if they try interrupting," Veronica said. Christian was quiet. Much of his life was now spent in silence. He sometimes spoke to Veronica, but offered none of his own thoughts. Like his own mind, hers couldn't be trusted either. Christian put his pants on, tightened a belt around his waist. He donned his shoes, then walked back to the mirror. "Your tie is on the bed," Veronica said. He had seen it, but would he wear it? He remembered back to the first day he was offered a job with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He'd been riding the train to the director's office, worrying constantly about his tie's knot. He had thought he messed it up and knew there'd be no time to fix it before he sat down. Now he looked at the unbuttoned top of his shirt and knew he wouldn't be wearing a tie today. "You should wear one," the other said. "They're not going to be friendly." "Fuck them," Christian replied. Senator Robert Alexander took his seat at the lengthy dais. He was the last senator to arrive, though still 5 minutes early. He wanted to be the last coming in because he planned on being the most aggressive. He wanted everyone sitting in the closed meeting to understand that he was in charge, and that they would go at his pace, which would be fast. He opened his notebook in front of him, keeping his eyes down as he did. He didn't want people in here to think he was more concerned with them than getting his own things in order. He pulled a pen from his jacket pocket and laid it across the notebook. Finally, Senator Robert Alexander looked up. "Thank you all for coming today." The room was packed, easily as busy as any hearing Robert had ever participated in previously. He now presided over this special committee created for one task, the Committee for Responsible Justice Enforcement. Robert didn't like the name much, but that didn't matter. The public knew what it really stood for. He was in charge of getting to the bottom of the royally fucked chase for Luke Titan. Robert didn't give 2 hoots or a single holler for what happened to Titan. No one had seen or heard from him in a year, and Robert secretly thought the man would stay out of sight for the rest of his life. He'd barely made it out alive from what the senator understood, and if the man was as smart as everyone said, he'd quit while he was ahead. What mattered to Senator Robert Alexander were the 3 people in front of him. 3 desks were spaced evenly before the dais. On the far left was the Attorney General, Wendy Welks. In the center was the man of the hour, besides Robert, of course, the former FBI Director, Alan Waverly. And on the far right was the scarred-up freak who Robert had heard lost his mind during his last round with Titan. Oh, yeah. He was also a former FBI employee. The first 2 desks, Welks's and Waverly's, had a lawyer sitting at it, and 2 or 3 more behind them. The freak sat alone, the desk looking much too large for him. "You're not going to have much of a career in politics, son, if you don't understand the power of looking good," Robert thought. Behind the 3 desks were the press corps, and apparently anyone else who could squeeze